Good afternoon, Shankara TV viewers, and welcome you all for today's episode, The Power of Positive Thinking. Well, in the previous episode, we saw about that butterfly, which I took from the pages of the beautiful book by Sir James Jeans. The book is called as Physics and Philosophy. The tiny creature, the butterfly, a weak creature per se, sits on the branch of a tree or a plant, flapping its wing, palpitating for breath. That's what you and I perceive. Sitting on a branch, the butterfly flaps its wings under palpitation. But please note that this tiny creature, by flapping its wings, can set in motion causes that can create a hurricane in the Atlantic Ocean. I repeat, by mere flapping its wings, it can set in motion causes that can create a hurricane in the Atlantic Ocean. These are the words of Sir James Jeans. Now, what does it mean? Please do not think that you are a weakling. Please do not think that you are like the butterfly, the weak butterfly with its delicate wings, just flapping and palpitating for its breath. No, it can set in motion causes that can create a hurricane. And that's the beautiful concept which he puts forth. We are no longer weaklings. Even especially women, I talk to them, I address to them, you are no longer a weakling. The physical muscular strength, please do away with. That is not a factor at all. It is a healthy life that is a factor for both men and women. Muscular, you may be very strong, but you may be very weak. Take the example of Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali. He was very strong muscular, but then as age, after 40-50 years, at his 50th year, he became weak. He got afflicted with Parkinson's disease. The hand that could strike a patent tank out of the road could not lift a small ball, a small object. It is not the muscular or the physical power, it is your mental power. And the mental power that creates the universe. Dr. Miliani, a very famous physicist, says, at the 0 point, the energy at the 0 point in a vacuum is infinite at any given volume. I repeat once again, the energy at the 0 point in a vacuum is infinite at any given volume. What does it mean? That is a potential energy. At the 0 point, if the energy is infinite in a vacuum, how many infinite points you have? You cannot measure. What does it mean? It means all of us are powerful. Have the thought that we are powerful. If we are linked to the divine, we are powerful. If we are powerful, we can also create a hurricane in the Atlantic. When a tiny creature like a butterfly with its delicate wings can create a hurricane or set in motion certain causes that creates a hurricane, you and I definitely can do. That is a point I want to drive in. Our earth floats on a vacuum. As Dr. Miliani says, all the millions and millions of stars and galaxies float on a vacuum. And from that vacuum, we as human beings dwelling in this earth can draw that infinite energy, even from a 0 point. But what does it mean? I am conveying to you this idea, very clear idea, that you are powerful, you are infinite. Follow the greater part in you. Believe that you are infinite. Confucius, a very great Chinese philosopher, writes, men who follow the greater part in themselves become great. Men who follow the smaller part in themselves become small. What is the greater part? Your positive thoughts. The greater part in you is your positive thoughts that you are all powerful, that you are infinite, that you are attached to the infinite, that you are forming part of the infinite, the divine infinite, that you are divine. If you follow that path, you are going to be all powerful. You can achieve what you want. If you follow the negative path, the smaller part in you, as Confucius says, well, you are going to be a smaller man. Don't feed your negative emotions, they grow. If you start putting all negative thoughts and culture your negative emotions, you become negative. You become negative in all walks of life. Viewers, one of the main characteristics which I want to explain to you is remove all those negative beliefs. I have seen young men, young boys, they would say, I do not have money, I am weak, I am poor, I do not have education, I cannot go to school, I do not have the ability, I am not good. Now, why all these depressive thoughts? What you should think? You should not think I do not have money. You should think I will make money. You should not think I do not have education. You should think I will educate myself. You should not think my family is poor. You should think I will make my family rich. Now, the approach is the same, but the thoughts are different. See, I am driving to you this point. The thoughts, the built-in thoughts, you culture your thoughts like this: I will make money, I will get myself educated, I am strong. Don't think I don't have money, I am weak. The point is, if you start building this pressure of positive thoughts in you, dispelling those negative thoughts, I do not have money, I am poor, I am sick, I am tired. These are, you should not think I am tired, you think as if I will be strong, I will be energetic. My dear viewers, if you think on these lines, then you are creating a base on which you are building your positive thoughts. And building your positive thoughts will give you the necessary strength. It will create repercussions around you. It will be a beautiful format for you to build and build and build and go on that, forgetting completely all your negative beliefs. Now, I would say, you imagine all your beliefs. You think that you do not have money, I am poor, all this poverty, this lack of education, lack of strength, I am tired, I am not able to do this, I am not going, all those things you think, then cull it out from your mind, put it in a waste paper basket, burn it, and the ashes you dump it in water. They should not enter your mind in any way, at any time, at any instance, at any place. They are gone forever. You have completely decimated all your negative beliefs. Burn it off. Come to this point of aspects that I will make money, I will get myself educated, I will get strong, I will get that job, I will be powerful, I will be successful. Now, if you start going on these lines, success is guaranteed. In one of my previous episodes, I was talking of visual methods. Visual methods, also these affirmations, you have latest psychological tools. Now, what I would say is, at some point of your time, you would have been successful. You say, for example, in your class, in your school, you would have got first rank, or you would have won a running race prize, first prize, or you would have got a first prize in your debates, or you have got a first class in your 11th or 12th exam, or you would have got a good job, promotion. That success you would have enjoyed. That success you would have enjoyed at least for half an hour or 10 minutes or 5 minutes. Now, go back, regress yourself, place your mind in that success. That success is, suppose some of you would have got a first rank in the class and your teacher is appreciating you. Think of that, replay that in your mind, replay it like a video, enjoy that bliss, Somewhere, some point of time you would have achieved some bliss, some success. Your marriage also could be your happiness. You put yourself on that, your successful points, your successful period, and then live on that. You just dream on that, you just stay on that. If you start staying on that, you would get your further motivations. If you start staying on your success, that you got a first rank in the class in your 7th standard exam, for example, you would have been very happy at a point of a bliss, and that bliss you expand in your mind. You expand in your mind, so that bliss, what happens is, it unknowingly or knowingly, realized by you or not realized by you, drills into you a beautiful power into your subconscious mind, and that power being drilled into you through your experience of your own success would again, like a nuclear reaction inside your brain, will give out those energies. A fission process, a nuclear fission process will be created in your brains, and you would see success everywhere. As Julius Caesar says, I came, I saw, I conquered. The power of positive thinking. What happens if I get defeated in the army, in the battle? No, no such thoughts. No such thoughts was there. I came, I saw, I conquered. The brilliance of his power of positive thinking, the brilliance of his positive thoughts, the brilliance of his superiority complex, the brilliance of his achievements are all revealed. I came, I saw, I conquered. Those 3 simple words. In that way, your power, your self-belief will develop if you are able to actually live on the success which you had earlier, in your earlier periods of life. Somewhere at some point you must have had, all of us would have had some happiness. Go there, regress yourself, stay on that, and then that will create what is known as the nuclear fission process. The process will start. The process of success will be purely indoctrinated in your mind, inculcated in your mind, and then you will start with that process. The process will come to you, automatically it will come to you. Anywhere you go, any job you try, any higher education you try, any business you try, you will never think of anything called failure, because your mind has been trained. Your mind has been well developed to see only the positive things. Your mind will not know what is negative. When your mind drives you, it drives you to the positive field. It drives you to the success, whatever you want, whether you want a higher education, or whether you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a businessman, or you want to go abroad, whatever action you want to take, the mind guides you through intuitions, because you have trained your mind. You have never put any negative thoughts. So, this is what one of the important facts. The important facts is throw away your negative beliefs. Throw away your negative beliefs. My dear friends, a person came to me and said he has lost a beloved one. The grief, the negative thoughts will set in. The grief can set in. I am not saying no. It is a form of a negative emotion. It is possible. Now, the extreme form of grief is losing a beloved one. The death of the parent, it's not bearable. Yes, I do agree. But there are solutions for that. Generally, what Rabindranath Tagore says beautifully is, do not grieve because he is no more, but be thankful because he was there. The light has been shut off because the dawn has arrived. I repeat once again, do not grieve that he is no more, but be thankful that he was there. The light has been shut off because the dawn has arrived. A beautifully verse, if you think. The thought is, what Rabindranath Tagore emphasizes is, you cannot avoid death. You cannot avoid at any point of time, nobody can save you from the decay of this body. I have very clearly explained to you in my earlier serial called Do You Really Die? You cannot. Nobody cannot. Nobody can even actually predict when they are going to die. That is the law of nature, because there is nothing called death, there is something called decay of this body. Now, in such a situation, you have to only think of these verses. Think of what Rabindranath Tagore said, because that beloved one which had gone away from you, which had gone away from your family system, is also there in a different form. Ejecting out of this body, it is out there in a different form. So, that is the only consolation which you have to think, because our life, our body in this world, in this earth, is limited by time. The time as we perceive could be 80 or 90 years. It cannot go beyond that, or beyond 100, it cannot go. It is limited by time, and time is a perishable commodity. You cannot get back the time. That is the law of nature. So, when you are working under this law of nature, there is no necessity for you to grieve, because grief through the loss of beloved one is the highest form of grief which we have to accept. That is what beautifully, I repeat, what Bhagavan Krishna says in chapter 2 verse 23, 22 to Arjuna. Arjuna was grieving. Arjuna's mind was full of grief. He said, I cannot do anything, Krishna, sorry. Then he said, hey Arjuna, why are you grieving? Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. Jatasya, of the born, dhruvam, certain, mrityuhu, death. Dhruvam janma mritasya. Next sentence. Dhruvam janma mritasya. Of the dead, janma is certain. Cha, and tasmat, therefore, apariharye arthe. In the meaning of this inevitable situation, apariharye arthe na tvam soshitam harhasi. You don't have the, you don't deserve to grieve. Don't worry about this, Arjuna, because persons who are born die and persons who die are born again. This is a cycle of nature. This is the cycle of nature, 80 or 90 years. Do not grieve, do not bring that grief, the negative thought in your mind. Think positively, this is law. If I am hungry, I eat in the morning, this is law. So, once we start ourselves going back to these beautiful saintly religious verses, we can get some solace. We should understand the principles of life. When Arjuna was grieving, again Krishna says in verse 23 chapter 2, you are not the body, because the arrows cannot cut, arrows only can cut the body. You are not the body. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayanti apaha, na soshayati maruta. Beautiful words. Nainam chindanti shastrani, na cha yenam. Yenam means this. Na means no, cha and chindanti shastrani, your arrows cannot cut. Nainam dahati pavakaha, na yenam dahati, burn. Pavakaha is a beautiful word in Sanskritam for fire. We also have Agni, like a feminine word, but pavakaha is a masculine word for fire. Nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayanti apaha, na cha yenam kledayanti apaha means rain, cannot wet it, it cannot do that kledayam. Na soshayati maruta, maruta the wind cannot dry it also. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to grieve about in the battlefield. When you are going, when you have come to the battlefield, killings will happen, death will take place. Not the death of the soul, but death of the body. What to do? I asked for 5 houses from Duryodhana, I didn't give. My army is fighting against me. My own army, I have given it to Duryodhana. Bhagavan beautifully explains. If you read Bhagavad Gita, there will be a solace for you. for this negative thought of grief. I do understand this negative thought of grief has to be expelled, because we have to live the life, we have to get the solace. What is the alternative? Alternative is to think of these beautiful verses. Go back to Bhagavad Gita, go back to the Vedas, go back to the scriptures, go back to the religious persons. They will advise, they will give you the solace. So, grief, I do admit, is a powerful negative thought. I do admit, but it's a powerful negative thought, but you have to expel it. You have to expel it, you have to live the life you are born for. I have all these things I have explained in my previous serial. Do you really die? You do not die. The illusion of death is false. There is no death per se. Decay of the body is there, but matter cannot be created or destroyed. The energy escaping from the body goes out and takes another body. That is what Krishna says to Arjuna. That is what we have to take when we are gripped with this negative emotion of sorrow, the grief. It is very tough. Once we have this in our mind, there is some form of a solace in us. The another aspect which I want to discuss with you is, when we remove these negative beliefs, one of the such thoughts is, I am surprised to say, in the present emotion, in the present situations, what we have is diverse in our social systems. The thought of a diverse that happens after a marriage is consummated, after a marriage is conducted, it is a very, very big negative energy. I want to address this especially to the younger generation, because 80% of our population, as Prime Minister Modi says, is less than 35 years. I thought I would be doing injustice if I do not talk about this problem. This problem of diverse is the biggest cancer cell we can have through negative emotion. It is a negative thought per se dwelling in the mind of the boy or the girl. They should never have this thought. That is my firm opinion. Even I would like to suggest that the government actually amend their diverse laws, whatever it is. Only in the case of extreme, rarest of the rare cases, where the boy or the girl is incapacitated biologically, then diverse can be granted. Well, my dear Shankara TV viewers, I shall see you tomorrow. Continue this same episode tomorrow. Till such time, wishing you all a fine day. Thank you.